I'm Richard Quinn. I'm from London and I studied at Central St Martin's where I did my BA, then I went on to my MA. As you can see here, this is my BA collection, and my work throughout my BA was looking at craft and how you could take traditional screen printing techniques and transform fabrics. So have a look through this. You can see here that it's about taking a very basic fabric of calico, hand painting, hand screen printing. So at this stage I wasn't really paying attention in my own work to digital printing. Then I was spotted from this, and then on my MA I was sponsored by Stella McCartney. So I went on to the MA at St Martin's, and my work kind of transformed, taking the same kind of print and energy but turning it into more of an actual world, I guess. So I started out throughout my MA doing screen printing. So these are like 11 colour screen prints and a 5 colour screen print, but again, it's very time consuming, and the pace of the course opposed to the BA was a lot faster. So then I started to explore different ways I could then take small swatches and then scan them and then replicate them on a bigger scale. And when I was doing freelance projects throughout my course, the companies were more looking just for repeat tiles that can be churned out quite quickly. So this was more like the MA. Do that one. And these again were all screen printed, but then I started to mix in some digital with it. So it's the idea of taking a traditional process and a modern process and clashing the two. So I started to look at different fabrics that the digital can be applied to that are quite unusual. So for example, this is mylar foil, kind of what you get at the end of a running race. So I discovered that you can sublimate on this foil. So I started to use Epson technology that we had at Central St Martin's at the time, and then explored this technique, and then started to turn it into clothes and suits, as you can see. And then from this, because it was quite an unusual fabrication, then companies started to approach me, and then we needed to replicate this technique on a bigger scale. So we did it roll to roll and on a calendar press. And you can kind of see what the whole collection looked like. And then from that collection, I was picked up by H&M, and then with this, I saw how digital print, they flew me to China and Shanghai, showed me how digital print works on a mass scale. So all the prints were then made into tiles, and then we made it into digital printing for the wholesale products. And then from that, I opened my own print studio. So downstairs, so it's 2 floors. Downstairs is all traditional screen print. So our collections usually start with making small screen printed swatches, scanning those fabrics in, doing different colorways, and then digital printing the collection. So this allows us to offer stores, when we're at the wholesale showrooms, different fabrications, different colorways. So that means we can offer exclusives to different stores as well. Also, it means we can react quickly to the market. With the digital print, we can do not only student work, but we can also do other designer work, as well as large-scale production for other companies. We also do prints for other designers. This is a menswear designer called Charles Jeffrey, so we've got the different applications of the vinyl printing, screen printing, and then the digital printing. So the digital goes hand in hand with the craft of the screen print as well. So it kind of enriches the product and the service that we can give. And then from the collection, I was photographed by Tim Walker, and we made very abruptly and very quickly these sofas, all upholstered kind of jigsawed together sofas, and these were actually screen prints, leftover fabrics. And then the one on the right caught John Lewis's eye, which is an English company. So I did a collaboration with John Lewis, but this was taking scans from screen prints into digital prints. So what would have taken me about a week and a half took me a day to produce all the fabrics. I think it was around 70 meters in total for the 3 sofas that were produced. So you can kind of see the patchwork. So this was sublimation onto a poly velvet. And if I was to do it in a screen print, we'd have to overlay it a few times to get the depth of colour, or do an illuminated discharge, which is a very labour-intensive process. Whereas with the digital, we're able to do it in a 2-step process, print the paper, and then calendar press it on, still retaining the depth of colour, even though it is a really thick pile fabric. Also, this is for a festival at Port Elliot, so you can kind of see Sandra Rhodes, Stephen Jones. I mean, he printed all the set, but this set was created within a day, so it really allows us as a business and a designer to react to the market and produce projects that come through the studio on a daily basis very quickly, as well as retaining that kind of vibrancy of colour. Then from there, I did a collaboration with Liberty of London, the store, and this is kind of the catwalk show that we did for them. So we took traditional archive swatches of theirs, updated them, and then reinterpreted them basically. And then the whole collection was from screen print samples, then we made them into digital files. So every fabric in this was a sublimation. And you can kind of see the round collection, how it all comes together, and all the different colours and screen prints that we can now offer to stores. We just were in Paris 2 weeks ago doing the London showrooms, and now we can offer exclusive colourways, shapes, interlock the prints, because it's so simple to print them out. It's just putting them into the print queue, and it allows us to get bigger margins as well, because they order more for exclusives.